Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to another edition of From the Slab with Monkey Boy and Chris, or, as the screen would suggest, Chris and Monkey Boy.
Depends if you read left to right or right to left.
Well, let's assume. Let's assume they're left to right.
Okay.
Good to see you all. I hope you're here. Hey, Tony, how are you, buddy? Good to see you.
I'm sure Tony enjoyed tonight's movie.
Tony, I'm sure did too. How was your week, Chris? Man, was it good?
It was good. I enjoyed myself.
Exciting?
No, had some good shows and slept and didn't sleep and slept and didn't sleep. Yeah. How was your weekend?
My weekend was actually really good. We played a really good show. Tony says he enjoyed it immensely. We played a really good show up at Brass Mug with Smile Empty Soul and a bunch of other people. Bear Within Us, I got up and sang with. It was kind of fun.
Nice.
But yeah, no, it was really it was a good show. We played extra early, and I'm sorry if you guys didn't get to see it, if you were on your way there or whatever else. But trust me, it was really good. I know that might not be, but whatever. There was plenty of good music still left over, so that's a good thing. Had a lot of fun doing that. Closed on the house today.
All right.
Which has been a big source of to me for a while. So it's kind of nice. So yeah, I mean, I've had a good week. I can't complain.
Right.
We're heading off for parts unknown as of after tomorrow night. So
very cool.
That'll be fun. So anyway, yeah. So here we are on From the Slab, and we every week we get here together and we talk about movies, horror movies. Usually do a synopsis of one in particular that was picked the week before. By one of you nice people.
And this week's movie
was Poultrygeist, Night of
the Chicken Dead.
Let me see if I got a picture here to back up the title. Yeah. Poultrygeist. Night of the Chicken Dead. Now, I don't know how many of you have seen this. And I'm going to withhold my comments till the end, which may surprise you. But we'll see. But if you didn't see Poultrygeist, that's fine. You can stick around. You're going to find out what Poultrygeist was all about. If you did see it, afterwards, let us know what you thought of it. All right. After I get done with this wonderful synopsis that is printed way too small for me. Are you ready?
I'm fucking born ready.
You're born ready. How about you in the chat? Are you guys ready? I think I need a margarita.
They said yes.
They did not say anything.
I heard them.
They're very quiet. It's a very quiet chatter tonight. But that's okay. You guys can talk anytime you want. Okay. Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead. High school sweethearts Arby and Wendy. I just caught the Wendy thing. I caught the rest of them. I didn't just. Arby and Wendy attempt to consummate their relationship in the Tomahawk Native American burial ground. Arby is upset because Wendy is going off to college without him, but Wendy promises him that she will always stay faithful to him. The two leave after realizing there is a man masturbating to them, but he is killed by zombie hands that are sprouting from the ground.
And after a zombie had broken off his middle finger in Arby's butthole.
Yes. Yes. One college semester later, when Arby returns to the spot of his one and only sexual encounter, he is shocked to discover two unsettling reality. Not only has the burial ground been bulldozed and replaced by an American chicken bunker, a mega conglomerate fast food franchise, but college has turned his dear Wendy into a left-wing lipstick lesbo liberal. There were quotes around that. That's not my words. Protesting the construction of the building with her activist girlfriend Mickey.
What is the name of the protest group?
It was
College lesbians against mega corporations.
Yes, it was Clam. All right. Well, anyway, so they're protesting. The Clam is protesting the American chicken bunkers. Disillusioned and out for revenge, Arby decides to get a job at American Chicken Bunker. Under the supervision of paranoid manager Denny, Arby is thrust into the mandatory minimum wage with a variety of colorful people, the effeminate Mexican Paco Bell, the animal-loving redneck Carl Jr., and the burqa-clad Muslim Hummus. And a mysterious 60-year-old man in the restaurant basement who has worked as their costumed mascot all his life and has a virtually identical background to Arby. So while grinding meat, Paco is pushed into the meat grinder by an uncooked chicken. Let me say that again. While grinding meat, Paco is pushed into the meat grinder by an uncooked chicken. Okay, General Lee Roy decides to let Paco get turned into a Sloppy Joe sandwich, which was called a Sloppy Jose, right?
Yeah.
Arby begins to unravel a sinister plot involving the spirits of the disenfranchised Native Americans and billions of slaughtered chickens sent to the concentration camps, who plan on exacting their revenge in the most gruesome way possible. Sorry, it's hard to even read this. After being told so by Paco, now reanimated as a chicken sandwich, Carl Jr., who's having intercourse with the uncooked chicken, which killed Paco, by the way, in the storage room, fights the chicken when it starts biting it starts biting his penis. So he's having sex with an uncooked chicken, and the chicken starts biting his penis. Hummus manages to kill it by shoving a broom up Carl's ass, through it, and tears off his penis. So there's a broomstick that goes up Carl's Jr.'s pooper all the way through to where his schmeckle is. Goes right through the schmeckle, and now there's just a broomstick. I think we've got a picture of this. This is the broomstick that is actually sticking through. So there. Okay. Okay. I know this is hard. I know this is difficult because this is some serious stuff. General Leroy tells them not to take him to a hospital and to give the chicken, which has been sprayed with blood and green ichor, to the protesters outside. Carl Jr. is killed when Arby gives him alcohol to drink. After Mickey tells the protesters that the chicken tastes good, the protesters, now Mickey is the head protester and the head lesbian. The protesters go inside the restaurant to eat it. Wendy finds out that Mickey has been paid by General Leroy to say that the chicken tastes good. She breaks up with Mickey and returns to Arby. Sort of. General Leroy gets diarrhea after being fed to eat a piece of chicken from the protesters, or from media, really. General Leroy lays an egg in the bathroom and is attacked by the chicken that hatches from the egg. He rips off the chicken's head with his teeth and is sprayed with green blood. He becomes a giant egg and hatches into a chicken zombie, and then decapitates Denny, the manager, who's telling the story about his first time he encountered a chicken.
Which was a parody of the Indianapolis story from Jaws.
Yes, it was. The customers, workers, and protesters then all turn into zombie chickens. The mascot, played by Lloyd Kaufman, head of Troma Studios,
the director of the movie
and writer of the movie, shoots all of them with an M16 machine gun. General Leroy zombie returns, but is shot down by the mascot. As the old man approaches the general, he gets his nose ripped off by the now zombie chicken Denny. Arby then shoots and kills Denny. Wendy turns the open sign to closed, which keeps the chicken zombies at bay. To ensure an epidemic be for naught, the mascot, who is still alive, tells Arby that he is his future self. He then turns into a chicken zombie. Mickey, who attempts to escape, is turned into a zombie chicken. She and the mascot chicken zombie chase after Arby and Wendy. Hummus drinks meat steroid in an attempt to save them and accidentally kills herself in the process. Arby and Wendy realize that beer kills the chicken zombies, and then kill Mickey and the mascot zombie. They run out of beer and are saved by Hummus, who is still alive despite having exploded a few minutes earlier somehow. And they find a child hiding in the storage room and are attacked once again by General Leroy Chicken. It is then I am so lost. Okay. Then killed by General Leroy Chicken is then killed by Paco the Sandwich. Oh my God.
You're in the home stretch.
I know. Hummus is then shown to have explosives strapped to her body and tells them that she is willing to sacrifice herself. She is also an incredibly hot blonde chick underneath the burqa. Arby and the little girl escape as the building explodes. While being driven home in a car, the child experiences stomach cramps while drinking a can of beer and begins to cluck like a chicken before laying an egg. frightening her, Arby and Wendy. Arby loses control of the car and crashes, resulting in the car backflipping before landing on the ground and exploding, killing them all. And that, my good friends, is Poultrygeist. Thank you, Cody, for this movie. Misanthropic Torment, good to see you. Chicken Zombies. That's Ray. Yeah, you were disturbed until that. Listen, man. If you've seen this movie, please let us know what you thought of this movie in the chat. Chris, what did you think of this movie?
I enjoyed the fuck out of this movie. It's a terrible movie. Don't get me wrong. Don't look at this movie wanting. Well, I guess it would change lives, but don't look at this movie looking for good writing, acting, effects, or meaning. But go into this movie thinking that you're gonna have a good time and laugh your ass off. Yes, this is a real movie.
This is definitely a real movie.
But no, it was a good time. It was a fucking riot.
Now, I think it's fair to say, or to preface all of this with, it was a trauma picture.
Yeah, it goes out of its way to be offensive.
It gave you Toxic Avenger, which was the same type of offensive garbage that this movie was, which was you should get really stoned and watch this movie. Absolutely, I recommend that. I don't even smoke pot. Get stoned and watch this movie. This, honestly, I was very delighted to watch this movie. This movie had a lot of fun to it. What I like about Trauma Pictures are they know they have no budget. They know they're not putting out blockbusters. So they make them funny. They make them entertaining.
They make them hilarious.
This is exactly what Pooh, Blood, and Honey should have been.
Yes.
This movie what literally had us. I was laughing a lot, and that's I don't laugh at a lot of movies, even funny movies. A lot of comedies. I was laughing, and it was so freaking offensive. Like it was so freaking offensive that even people who are easily offended by shit would not be offended by it, I think.
Yeah, because it's all about context and the fact that you go in knowing that it's going to be, as un-PC as humanly possible.
And it was. And it was. It really was. Some of my favorite things were when right at the very beginning when they're just starting to have sex and all the zombie hands are coming out of the ground, and then the one zombie finger right up the butt. Arby is like, oh, and then the guy makes the noise as he's, flogging his Molly there in the, and all the zombie hands retreated, but the finger came off and inside his butt and stayed there. And then
he pulled it out
the rest of the fucking movie. And it was their special butt plug. I just thought that was my favorite thing in the movie, I think. Perhaps. Did we mention, for those of you who didn't see it, it's also a musical. The songs in it were surprisingly not horrible. They weren't great songs. No. But
they were delightful.
I've seen serious musicals that I could not stand to listen to the songs. They were lighthearted, funny, and stupid. And that was really good. Arby. Oh, yeah. We did Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. Brian gets all the fun movies.
I get these ones. Like if there's a seriously good, going to win an Academy Award horror movie, Chris will get to do it, and then it'll be my week, and I'll have to do Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, or Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead,
or Uncle Peckerhead.
Uncle Peckerhead. This is also the movie that Uncle Peckerhead should have been.
Yeah. If you're going to have a ridiculous premise, if your premise is funny, then you have to make the movie funny.
Yes, you
because
do.
if you go in trying to make a serious movie out of a ridiculous concept, it's going to come off poorly. It's not going to land.
Here's the problem with that, though. Not everybody who thinks they have a sense of humor is funny.
True. For all we know,
they have the means of raising money, they can make a movie.
For all we know, Pooh, Blood and Honey was supposed to be a comedy.
Perhaps was hilarious to somebody. By the way, Misanthropic Torment, all you have to do is go on your Fire Stick or your Roku device or whatever, and they're streaming all over the place. Now, what we do is, and I'm going to put this up here, by the way, so thanks for reminding me. All you got to do is put your name and put one of our names in the chat. At the end of this show, we're going to play a game to where Chris and I are going to go head to head and see who can answer more trivia questions about horror movies. If you think he can answer more, put Chris's name in the chat. And if you think I can answer more, and Chris, put my name in the chat. As it's all said and done, and when it's all said and done, whoever wins gets to pick next week's movie. If more than one person has picked the name, then you go onto the wheel of names, and chance will pick out of your initial win who gets to pick next week's movie. All right, we got 2 for Brian. All right, that's good. But first, we should probably listen to this guy because he has something to say. Da-na-na-na-na. Yeah, it's better to burn out. Share this with your friends. Share it. Hit the share button. Do it now. Wow, that guy is fucking handsome.
He's smart too. He'd never steer you wrong.
Oh, there's a wait here. All right. I'm good with that. Look, it's Delilah plays the dead girl, and she's voting for Chris.
Surprise.
Very cool. Chris, are you ready for this week's?
I am ready.
All right, it's time for our top 5. Yes. Top 5.
Top 5.
What do we got this week, Chris?
All right. So this week's top 5 is
Hello, Audrey.
Top 5 Indian burial ground movies.
All right, that's a good one. That's a good one already.
Yeah. Top 5 Indian burial ground movies. Native American burial ground movies. So
call them Indians again. We can do that. They like that. They prefer it. I don't know why.
At number 5, I have The New Daughter. With Kevin Costner in a fucking horror movie which was surprisingly good. I enjoyed the fuck out of this movie.
I do not know this movie.
It was a minor hit back in like I want to say 2009-ish. But Kevin Costner in a horror flick, I dug it.
Okay.
Number 4, Identity.
Identity.
Another oft forgotten gem.
How is that an Indian burial ground movie again?
In the dude's mind where the story takes place, the hotel is, or the motel is built on an Indian.
That's right, it is. Very good.
Number 3 is The Shining.
The Shining, yes.
Number 2, I have the Amityville Horror.
The Amityville Horror.
Pick your version, pick your sequel, but the Amityville franchise.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a good one. Sure.
And the number 1 Indian burial ground movie.
Wow. Yeah.
Pet Sematary.
Pet Cemetery. Now, Misanthropic Torment says, how about Dance Me Outside? I can't say I'm familiar with that. But also, Poltergeist.
Poltergeist was not an Indian burial ground. It was just a cemetery.
Burial ground. Actually,
it was not an Indian burial ground.
Hold, please. Come Poltergeist 2, it became an Indian burial ground. It was a burial ground for these missionaries or whatever else that was on Indian burial. It became that way.
Retcon.
So I don't know.
Then
everything's
Poltergeist
going good, Jordan Rowe.
Honorable mention.
Huh. Doesn't matter.
That's my top 5 Indian burial ground movies.
Good top 5. I'm trying to think if there's anything.
Scalps was one I almost put.
Scalps, I remember that one.
That was a good fun slasher.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, almost every haunted house movie out there somehow, some way relates itself to being on an Indian burial ground.
Wasn't Night of the Demons? Wasn't that that
was an Indian
burial ground one? Yeah.
Jordan, I don't know if we're coming back to Toledo again this year or not. I haven't heard word yet, but we are definitely looking to do so. So hopefully we will. How about that new track, Subterfuge? How about it, huh?
I dig it.
I dig it too. I think it's possibly one of the best singles ever put out on a Valentine's Day. Evil Dead.
Was it an Indian burial ground?
I don't know. It was definitely it had something to do with sacred lands.
Yeah.
So it very well could have been.
If Evil Dead was an Indian burial ground, that would take number 1 for me. Demon Hole. Are we back on Poultrygeist?
We're getting there. Poultrygeist, though, by the way, if you did not see it, I know that it doesn't sound all that appealing. It's a really good fucking movie.
It's delightful.
It's worth a watch one board night to watch Poultrygeist.
Yeah, you'll have a good time. It's a fucking riot.
And I think that's very, very cool. All right. Well, we are close. Hold on one second. Yeah, the original Poltergeist had to do with, it was buried on top of a cemetery. It was built on top of a cemetery where they moved.
They didn't move the bodies.
But you didn't move the bodies, did you? That's what he said. But then we find out underneath the cemetery was an Indian vinegar grow, where, yes, they did remake Poltergeist, and
Terribly.
it was a horrible remake, and I liked everybody in it. It just was a horrible remake. Monkey Boy for the game. And we are going to be probably getting to the game soon. Yeah, and by the way, if you haven't listened to our new single, Subterfuge, it's out now. Anywhere you stream music, just go to the Dude D period O period O period D period, and you can find it. Unless you're on Pandora, then you got to go to the Distinguished Order of Disobedience. Look that up, the spelling.
Pandora's still a thing?
It is, apparently. Love the new single. Thank you, Audrey. The single loves you. It just emailed me, told me. Wasn't going to say anything because it also said some things that were a little bit inapropos. Dirty is what I'm saying. Oh, look, it's Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Good morning. All right. Well, we're going to be bringing on our buddy. So basically, guys, if you're here right now, vote for either Chris or myself in this game, and you may have a chance to win the opportunity to pick next week's movie.
Keep in mind, I won last week.
He did win last week. And here is Jason Ashby, our quiz master. Hi, Jason.
Hello. How are you guys doing? Sorry. Had some technical difficulties for a second.
That's okay. I have problems with my
Not a steady hand.
I have testicle problems all the time. Don't worry about it.
Well, we won't talk about those.
Comes from getting older. They just get longer. You sit on them. It's bad.
Yeah, it's bad for you. I did not see Poultrygeist, but say what?
What was it? So you did not.
Forehead's radioactive.
Yes. I did not see Poultrygeist, but from the synopsis, I'm like, Jesus Christ. And hearing the synopsis automatically made me start thinking of Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, same director.
And it's the same director, same everything. And he's like a low budget Mel Brooks, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. That's what it sounded like. So,
but it's funny. It's just
there's a Toxic Avenger remake coming out soon.
Yes, and it's going to have the little
Dinklage.
person, Peter Dinklage.
Oh my God!
Toxic Avenger.
Oh my God! That's just gotta be hilarious.
It's the most fun you can have without
Absolutely. So,
although I probably will be. All right. So, anybody else willing to?
What's the vote count right now? I know Brian's got a few out there.
4-1. So that's fine.
goodness.
Delilah can pick the movie.
Of course, it's your fucking. You'll get that horror movie with Sir Laurence Olivier in it and whatever. I get Poultrygeist. Fine, whatever.
Was Sir Laurence Olivier in a fucking horror movie?
I don't think he was. No, I wish he was though.
Doubt it.
Oh, Rainus votes for me.
Rainus.
The hell?
In a strange turn of events, Ray votes for Chris.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did I call everybody by surprise?
Well, all right. I think is the voting in? Are we done with the voting?
Got until the end of the intro.
At the end of the intro, you have till the end of the intro to put a name in the chat.
So put a name in, people.
Here we go.
When you get asked a question about that horror movie, what's the damn answer? When you get to thinking, you might just know the answer. What's the damn answer? What's the damn answer? With Quizmaster Jason.
All right.
Real quick. Laurence Olivier was in a horror movie.
Was he?
He played Abraham Van Helsing in the 1979 adaptation of Dracula
Very
with
cool.
Frank Langella as Count Dracula.
That is very interesting.
Biden. All right. Yes, I was, Ray. I'm glad you picked that up. Well, I figured I might as well talk like him since I'm not going to vote for him or anyone else. Misanthropic Torment wants Brian. All right.
Yeah, I
Here we
already
go.
got that.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to What's the Name Answer. I am your quiz master. My name is Jason. I have my two beautiful contestants here, Monkey Boy, aka Brian, and Chris, which I don't have a nickname for him yet, but I'm gonna come up with one. So I'm gonna come up with one. I may ask people for help, but we'll get him one. So this is actually very, very simple. I have a bunch of questions I'm going to ask these two. They're going to give me their answers, and whoever has the most answers at the end of the game wins. It is that simple, ladies and gentlemen. So
right.
It doesn't get any easier than that.
I think
Now,
let's do this.
Absolutely. So as long as these two are ready, actually I'm waiting on Chris to get a puff of fresh air there.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So here we go with question number 1. So what Martin Scorsese thriller features Robert De Niro as a criminal madman? Brian.
Cape Fear?
Yes. Oh, shit. Great movie, by the way, too.
It is a great movie. For a second there, I raised my hand and I was like, wait a second, was that a Scorsese film?
It was.
It was.
Absolutely, it was.
All right.
All right. Question number 2. Which Japanese horror movie inspired its blockbuster Hollywood counterpart, The Ring? Chris.
Ringu.
That is correct. All right, good answer there.
Could have guessed that if you were just making fun of Japanese.
Well, yeah. I wasn't going to go there, but all right. Here's one that's maybe going to throw you for a loop. What Disney horror flick features Mickey Mouse gone mad? Mm-hmm.
What?
Brian, take a shot at it.
Fantasia?
No.
What Disney horror? Wait, say the question again.
What Disney horror flick features a Mickey Mouse gone mad? I know Disney doesn't make a lot of horror movies.
I got nothing.
The name of the movie was called Runaway Brain. Never heard of it. Like I said, Disney doesn't put out a lot of horror style
Was it actually
movies.
put out by Disney?
It was.
Amazing.
It was actually put out by Disney. So
All right.
All right.
had a head scratcher there. All right, so here we go with question number 4. Which classic monster movie is said to be the most successful horror franchise in history? Brian.
Godzilla?
Yes.
No, misanthropic torment. You cannot say it.
No.
Yeah, there's no cheating.
No helping with the answers. All right. Question number 5. Who was Danny's imaginary friend in The Shining? Brian.
Tony.
That is correct. Not Anthony, but Tony.
Tony.
All right. Let's see. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a score of 3-1 in favor of Brian, but it is still very early, Chris.
Very early, Chris.
Absolutely. So, question number 6. Which black and white monster movie starred a creature that was played by a man shot completely underwater? Brian.
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
That is correct. Now, I got a question. Did they ever do a colored version of that?
They
like
did a
in color?
colorized version, but they never.
Colorized version.
I don't
Okay.
think they ever did a remake.
Okay.
No, but he was in the Monster Squad.
Yeah, he showed up later.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
He stole the kid's Twinkie.
And if you want to go back and watch that episode, if you scroll back up far enough.
I think that would make a really good remake, depending on who actually does it.
I don't disagree.
Not at all. All right. Here we go with question number 7. Which horror movie features Kirsten Dunst as a young vampire? Chris.
Interview with the Vampire.
That is correct.
The Vampire.
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
Not a vampire, the vampire.
Yes. Some people will say interview with the vampire, and it's actually interview with the vampire.
It could be interview with some vampire.
Absolutely, it could be.
All right, but it's not.
But it's not.
All right. I think you're good.
All right, here we go with question number 8. Which 1990s horror movie won 3 Academy Awards? Chris.
Silence of the Lambs.
No.
Fuck.
1990s horror movie?
Yep.
Oh, motherfucker.
He knows it now.
I do.
Yeah,
No. It won 3 Academy Awards.
I know this. Why am I not saying it?
Yep, Brian.
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
That is correct.
All right.
The Academy Awards did Silence of the Lambs win?
Silence of the Lambs. I
I don't know. They did pretty well. I don't know if they even won. I think they,
You know what? I don't think they ever won an Academy Award.
I think that was Best Picture.
They might have though. They might have.
Maybe that one.
They were nominated for a
And
lot.
I think Hopkins won that year too.
Hopkins.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
Ah,
There we go. Brian's picking a color there.
what's going on?
All right. Question number 9. What was Freddy Krueger's serial killer nickname before he died? Brian.
Springfield Slasher?
Yes.
Slasher.
No.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That is incorrect.
It was incorrect.
That is incorrect. Chris.
It was the Springwood Slasher.
That is correct.
Even though I corrected myself, I'm going to tell you he deserves that because that was wrong.
Yep. So, all right. So let's see. So we're going to move on to question number 10. We got a score of 3-5. Chris is just slowly nipping at his heels.
Nipping.
What was the name of the apartment building where Rosemary and Guy lived in Rosemary's Baby?
Very famous.
The name of the apartment building.
It's a very famous apartment building in New York City, by the way.
Yep. Chris?
Was it the Dakota?
No.
It's where Lennon was killed.
Yes. I've got a picture of me somewhere.
I'm not gonna be able to remember it. So go ahead.
It's the Bramford.
Bramford.
I actually have a picture of me standing in the spot where John Lennon was shot and killed in front of the Dakota building.
Nobody was shooting and killing you, though. I hope.
No. A lot of cussing, but no shooting and killing.
It's fair. It's fair.
All right. Here we go with
Love language in
question.
New York City.
Say what?
That's the love language in New York City.
Oh, absolutely it is. Absolutely. All right. Question number 11. In the horror movie Get Out, how does Chris avoid being hypnotized? Chris.
Stuffs cotton in his ears.
Yes, he does. Which I don't see how that could. Well, I mean, I guess I could stop it from being hypnotized because usually
It
you're
was also
focused.
symbolic,
It was
you know.
absolutely. All right, so here we go with question number 12. What horror movie franchise is based on the real-life work of paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren? Brian.
The Conjuring.
Absolutely, and it is an awesome movie. Actually, an awesome franchise, period.
It's a good franchise. There's no
Mhm.
prize involved, but they're good.
Absolutely. All right, so we're moving on to question number 13. We do have a score, ladies and gentlemen, of 6-4. So, what famous figurine inspired the design for Gilman in The Creature from the Black Lagoon?
Famous figurine.
Yes. Chris.
The Oscar statue.
That is correct.
Okay.
Okay. So we are now moving on to
I
question
do.
number-
Chris
do
does
not.
not. Chris does not. I do.
Oh. Okay. You ever see any of Corey Taylor's videos that he's done where he's done like paranormal like excursions and stuff like that?
Yeah,
No.
I
They're
have.
actually pretty interesting.
Does
Somewhat
he
interesting.
scream during it?
Sometimes there's been a couple of them where he has, but
Neat.
kind of interesting. All right, question number 14. What horror thriller is based on the 7 deadly sins of the Bible? Brian.
7.
Yes. That is correct. Another awesome movie.
Awesome movie.
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go with question number 15. Which European country is the setting for the 1990s horror movie Hostel? Chris.
The Czech Republic.
I will accept it. It does break it down though, because the answer is actually Slovakia is what they give, but it is the Czech
I
Republic.
even as his opponent, I'll give that to him.
Yeah, because
That's the Czech
it is
Republic.
the Czech
It is
Republic.
the Czech Republic. It's just they like specified it down to an actual country. I'm like, it's still the Czech Republic.
Well, you're good.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Chris is just 1 point away from a tie game. Interesting. All right. What is the flight number of the plane the teens avoid dying on thanks to a premonition in the Final Destination?
Flight number?
The flight number.
$147.
No. Chris, you want to take a shot at it? And it's, before he answers this question,
No.
it's featured a couple other times in the sequels.
31.
No.
No.
It's actually Flight 180.
Sure.
It was actually featured, I think, in all of the sequels.
I'm sure it's symbolic in some way. I don't think
it is. I think it is to a degree. All right.
Because everything turned around at that point.
It did. Absolutely. All right. Here we go with question number 17. Which horror actor, movie, director, screenwriter, and makeup artist was given the nickname the Man of 1,000 Faces? Brian.
Tom Savini?
No. Chris.
Lon Chaney.
Yes, that is correct. Actually, saw him actually thinking there for a second. I was like, what's this one? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we actually have a tie game with 4 questions remaining. So this is get interesting.
It's tight.
Absolutely. So here we go with question number 18. In the movie Zombieland, What amusement park are they trying to get to? Brian.
Pacific Playland.
Yes, that is correct. I actually just watched that movie again recently. I love it. Especially the Bill Murray scene is just phenomenal. That makes me laugh every time, except for when he gets killed. But it's funny.
He is he was great in that.
Absolutely. All right. Question number 19. What was the original working title of the Blob?
I knew this once, but I don't know it now. So I'm going to just guess.
Take a stab at
The Goop from Outer Space.
it. No.
It's better to have loved than lost. You know what I'm saying?
Than to never have loved at all.
That's right.
Take a shot at it.
It came from outer space?
No. The original working title was The Glob.
The Glob.
The Glob. Thank God they changed it to The Blob.
I don't know. The Glob would have worked.
It would have. It really
What
would
the Glob?
have. So, it really would have.
The
Absolutely.
globular creature.
All right. Question number 20. What kind of house is terrorized by a serial killer in Black Christmas? Chris.
Sorority house.
That is correct.
It's also a split level ranch.
Well, that's why I put in quotations house. Because I don't necessarily
I think we
classify
both should get
sorority
points
house
because I
as
was
house.
right. He was right too.
Mm-hmm. All right. We have a tie game, ladies and gentlemen, going into the very last
I
question.
don't know how that has happened, but okay, let's do it.
It is. So we got a score of
I'm
8-8.
not keeping score. I count on you, Jason.
Absolutely.
But I know Chris is better looking than me, so you know that.
Nah, I'd put it 50-50. All right. What time period was the 2015 film The Witch set in? Chris. I'm going to time period.
1600s.
That is correct. That is correct. And you want to make sure you said it right, too. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a winner by a score of 9-8 in favor of Chris.
How did that happen at the last minute? Good job, Chris.
Good job, Chris.
Good job, Chris.
He had to put his thinking cap on.
Hold on 1 second. Oh, look at me. I'm Chris, man. I won, man. Look at me. I'm the winner. I'm the winner, bitches. Yeah. You didn't win. I won. I won, bitches.
Although, I'll tell you what. Yeah, a little bit.
I love that.
Now, if we're going by who was quicker on the trigger, Brian was definitely quicker on the trigger tonight.
Well,
He really was. He was working on his trigger finger. So.
well, no, it's because I slipped Chris some.
Oh, shame. Oh my goodness. So, Chris, who do you have? You had who voted?
Delilah and Rhaenys.
I know. I'm like, that still blows my mind that Ray actually voted for you.
I know. Fuck you, Ray.
And that is really cool.
Absolutely, it is.
I'm really happy about that. Of course, Ray has to spend the next few days with me in a van, but that's all right.
Trust me, with what's going on with you guys in the van and where you're going, that doesn't sound like a bad thing to do.
It's a very
Sorry,
sexual van.
you can make his hair all sticky while he sleeps.
Oh, Ray doesn't sleep ever. It's weird that way. All right, so I've got both of y'all on the wheel of names.
All right, here we go.
Here we go, and
Get away!
what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Who's it gonna be?
Oh, it looks like it's favorite ring.
Rhaenys. How wicked.
Oh,
Dude,
This should be good because I want to see what kind
I
of
don't know.
movies does he actually like.
Fuck.
Greatest picks, Human Centipede.
Ah. That is awesome. He had that pre-picked. He knew what he was
He
going to
knew
pick.
he was not. He
Yeah,
was
he did.
not. He's been probably thinking about that every week. Ah, shit. Cody says, no pun intended. It was intended. I believe that pun was intended.
Absolutely, it was.
We actually did a big section of a show on remakes once. Didn't we?
Yeah. I think it came down to neither of us are down on remakes as long as they're good.
Yeah, like honestly, I look at it. I think that there are some remakes.
Case basis.
There are some remakes out there that are just as good, if not better, than the originals. It just depends on. It almost depends on the intent behind the movie. Like if you're intending just to cash out on a name, most of the time those are going to suck. But if you have a director and a writer who put together something that really counts, it really does. Like I mean, Amityville Horror, the first one was a great movie, but the remake was equally good. It really was. I thought it was equally good, and it stood alone. And I think the best remakes stand alone stand almost apart from the originals in the fact that they, if they had come out just by themselves without the originals ever having coming out, they would have been.
And I think a good rule of thumb on a remake is that the original has to leave the public consciousness before you can make another one.
Yeah, I think so too. And I agree. And the comment here is that there are some movies you should just not touch. I don't know, but I think I know there are. You know, I mean, I know there are some movies. Don't remake Star Wars. You know what I mean? It's not a horror.
Some are fucking. But again, something that's so ingrained in the public consciousness that remaking it makes no sense at all. Poltergeist was one of those.
There was no purpose to remaking it.
Nope.
And it was a bad remake. It had what Sam what's his name?
Sam Rockwell.
And I love that guy. I love him and everything he does except for Poltergeist, apparently.
Now, and like you said, a lot of it comes down to how you take on doing that remake. If you're like really into it and you really want to make a knockout remake, then it would be good. Some have been terrible. Poltergeist was one of them. The remake of Psycho I thought was terrible.
I thought it was good. I thought it was a shot-for-shot remake in color and stupid to do it. It wasn't going to make money, but it was well done and it was a good homage to the original instead of being, I mean, honestly, it didn't, like some remakes like Poltergeist actually like makes you hate the remake and want to go back and watch the original.
Yes.
Whereas Psycho was an homage to the original. To me,
it wasn't an homage. It was a copy.
It was an exact copy, and it was meant to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think they set out to do something, and they proved it. I don't remake The Lost Boys. I got to tell you, that's a movie that will always be up there. But if somebody remade it the right way.
And had a good spin on it. Yeah.
Exactly.
It could also be awful.
It could be. It's that 50-50 shot. You don't know how it's going to come out. So
you're going to have Selena Gomez as playing, Kiefer
chick.
Sutherland's part. Then forget it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I thought Rob Zombie did good. But I'll tell you what, you ask 10 people, you ask 10 people, and 10 people will tell you something different.
Yep, you have 10 different answers.
I thought he did really good with Halloween and Halloween 2. But Halloween 2 was not a direct remake.
No.
And Halloween, honestly, I thought he did a great job. I thought, but Chris hated it.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it.
He's shaking his head like he hated it. That's what I'm saying.
What I liked about
I just didn't think it was good.
What I liked about the remake of Halloween that Rob Zombie did, the first one, it was, to me, it came off darker than the original.
I don't know about that. The first one was pretty dark.
It was.
But it might have come off darker because of the timing. Like,
yeah,
I agree with. I agree, Cody. I thought it was fantastic too, but some people don't agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Chris is one of them. And I do think it was very dark. I just don't think it was necessarily darker than the original. I think the original was pretty damn dark. It was just they didn't have the technology and everything just wasn't the same.
Yeah, it was an era type thing.
Yeah.
Like when the original one came out, it was dark for its time. When the remake came out, it was really dark for its time too.
Yeah. Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo is a national fucking treasure.
He is.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, I love him in everything. Everything. I loved him in Planet Terror.
He was great in that.
I thought he was great in Spy Kids.
He was great in Spy. I loved Spy Kids.
That was hard.
And Spy Kids was done just so Robert Rodriguez could do movies like Planet Terror and From Dusk Till Dawn. You know what I mean? He did all those children's movies so he could make the movies he really wanted to do. He could make the money off the children's movies and put them into the movies that he really wanted to do. Which is
absolutely
great. Death Proof. We just did Death Proof, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I got to tell you, the more I watch Death Proof, the more I like it. But it's not my favorite.
That was in the Grindhouse trilogy, wasn't it? It was Death Proof.
Planet Terror. Now, Planet Terror I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
Death Proof was I think the reason why I didn't like Death Proof as much was because Planet Terror was so interesting and going, you know what I mean? Everything was really good. And then Death Proof was such this Quentin Tarantino, too much dialogue. And I love Quentin Tarantino. Do not get me wrong. But like it was a lot of just too much talking in that movie and not enough movie in that movie.
I agree.
I don't think I've ever seen a Tarantino film I liked.
Oh, you don't like them?
You didn't like From Dusk Till Dawn?
That wasn't. Yeah,
that's not a Tarantino. He wrote it. I like the movies he writes, but not directs.
Okay.
Born Killer, great movie. You like that?
Yeah.
You did not like Pulp Fiction?
I was really okay. I was just about ready to say that too, Brian.
I like True Romance, Natural Born Killers, From Dusk Till Dawn. I like the ones he writes but doesn't direct.
Huh.
I
loved Inglourious Bastards. I loved all that shit. I mean, it was really
I've seen them all. Didn't like them.
Huh.
Yeah.
No, the only one I didn't see was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
You wouldn't like that either because it was good.
Probably not.
It was good.
Death Race. They remade Death Race, didn't they?
Yeah, was it Death Race 2000? Wasn't that part of the whole 2000 craze?
Yeah, they did that a couple times.
Wasn't good.
Yeah.
The original was all right.
Get the
I mean,
what was that?
I have no idea.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
You weren't imagining it.
No, I just thought it might have just been my computer.
Yeah.
It wasn't. That was. Oh, you know what that was? The flamethrower scene at the end. I loved it. That was that was the network telling us that we've gone over our time.
Yep, we've run out of time, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, Boys and girls, first off, can we get a round of applause for Quizmaster Jason?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now, a quick question, because Brian, you're going to be on tour.
We are going this week.
Yes.
We will be in Lafayette, Louisiana at the Freetown Boom Boom Room, which is freaking one of the most awesome places I've ever played. And they have absinthe, which warms the cockles of my heart, because they have the whole absinthe thing and then you pour it in and the things, and they pour out all the, and it was just like, I love it. So we're going to be there Friday night. Then Saturday night, we're going to be in Houston, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Houston, Texas for the Battle for Vakken. That is at the Acadia Bar and Grill in Houston, Texas. I hear it's a really cool place. And we will be there. The Battle for Vakken. Honestly, we're traveling all the way to Texas to do it. And I gotta tell you, we're gonna play early. So if you're in Houston, or if you know anybody in Houston, have them come out and see us. Be happy to see them there. Is
this like a battle of the bands for a spot for that show?
Yeah, a spot at the Wacken Festival in Germany, which is the world's largest heavy metal festival.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we win, then we'll go on to Austin. And if we win in Austin, I think there might be one more that we have to do, or we go. I don't really know, but either way, happy to do it. We love to do it, and honestly, it gives us a chance to go out there and play our new song Subterfuge, and actually we'll be playing some of the other new stuff this week. Some of the other new stuff that's going to be on the new album coming out in June. So
to see the dude in Germany would be freaking amazing.
It would be Schmadoikel. It would be wonderful.
Absolutely. I would actually get a plane ticket to fly to Germany.
So would I.
And I'd bring Chris and Felicia with me.
I'd go.
Sure.
I gotta get my passport.
He loves the schnitzel. That guy. Schnitzel's great.
It is. Yes, it is.
Jason,
all right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get on out of here. We'll let Brian and Chris close it out. But thank you very much. And it's a Human Centipede next week.
Bye.
Centipede.
Chris's favorite. Chris's favorite. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you.
Yes, you can be the roadie. Come along. Chris, what you got going on this week?
Tomorrow night, Felicia and I are going to see the Twin Temple in St. Petersburg. Yeah.
Sexy.
Satan. And Friday, the Thrown Together will be at American Legion Post 30 in Sarasota. And Saturday, the Sugar Hive will be at Booze, Ice House, and Dog Bar in Sarasota.
And Dog Bar.
And Dog Bar. It's like an indoor dog park with a bar in it and bands.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's what
honestly, as always, I encourage all of you, if you are in town, go see this man play.
You have a good time.
He will blow your mind. He's beautiful. Wonderful. Yeah, and like I said, if you're in Louisiana or Texas, come see me this weekend. We would love to see you, and I will hug the shit out of you.
And stream the Subterfuge.
And yes, and stream Subterfuge. Go to Spotify, whatever you use. Go ahead and stream it. There's a lyric video up on YouTube at the moment. You can check that out. Either way, and thanks to our buddies over at Self-Made Records and Earache Records for helping us with the distribution. And
all those fractions of pennies add up.
They do. To almost nothing. But honestly, and I know Chris probably agrees with me on this, we write songs so you can listen to them and maybe feel a little bit of what we feel when we write them. And so that's what it's all about. It's not about the, 0.008943 of a cent that we get off of a stream. It's about you guys listening and hopefully taking pleasure in it and maybe finding that new song that you love. And I hope you listen to a lot of stuff. Stream a lot of stuff, but stream our shit too. Crystal Bees in Southington. Crystal Bees being him. All right. All right, Chris, you got anything?
No, I'm good, man.
Boys and girls, thanks so much for coming out. Don't forget the dude check-in tomorrow night at 8 p.m. I do not know if the entire band will be on there. It might just be me. It might be, we might have people. I don't know. I have really, honestly, no damn idea at this point. But we will have a dude check-in tomorrow night. So at least come and join me. All right? Goodbye, Chris.
Bye, Brian.